Hey everyone, so I have for you today my favorites of 2015. Some of these items are new, some of them I've loved for years. Just generally, these are the items that I went back to over and over and over again over that past year. So I hope you enjoy and please keep watching. I did try to take something from like every category, though there was a couple that I just wasn't really able to pick a particular favorite. And for this category as well, foundation, I actually have two. So my Revlon Color Stay, which is like my be-all end-all. I absolutely love this foundation. I've purchased many bottles. I'm in the shade 150 Buff. And then this is a new one, and I love this foundation. I was really skeptical whether or not it would work for my skin because I have very oily skin. And this is L'Oreal True Match Lumi, and I'm in the shade W1-2, so it's a more yellow undertone, and I think it's probably their lightest shade that they have, which works perfectly for me. This is a beautiful foundation. It blends so well into the skin, and it just looks really nice and flawless. Those are totally different foundations, and they're both serve different purposes, but they're both really, really good. I got a new eye primer this year, and it's from the drugstore, and this is the Milani eyeshadow primer, and I got this I think back in August. I had never tried it before, and this stuff works amazing. It is the best drugstore eyeshadow primer I've ever used. It's a little bit pricey. I think it was around $10, but compared to high-end, it's a fraction of the price. So I really love this eyeshadow primer. If you can get your hands on it, it is definitely worth the money. For concealer category, I have this MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, which I got, if you had seen the video, from my MAC gift card I got for my birthday, and I purchased this concealer. And I'm in the shade NW15. It's a perfect shade for me. It really does completely cover everything, brighten, it doesn't crease up on me. It is a beautiful, beautiful concealer. The only problem that I have with it is it's in a pump, which is great. However, this pump, like, I waste so much product. It's really stiff and hard to push down. I don't know whether that is just mine's defective or whether they're all like this, but it's really hard to push down and control how much comes out. So when you finally get it down, a huge amount of concealer comes out, and I waste at least half every time that I use it. So that's really frustrating, disappointing, because this is not an inexpensive concealer. So I really wish there was another way to use this. Maybe if I get it again, I could take it out, put it into something else. But otherwise, it is a beautiful concealer and it works really well. This is probably, I have like two items that are like my complete like favorites of the entire year, and this is definitely one of them. I know I talked about this in a haul video, I believe, but this is the Sephora Bright Set pressed finishing powder in the shade Banana. And this will be no surprise to people. A lot of people have been using banana or yellow colored powders and whatnot. It sets my under eye concealer perfectly. I don't get any creasing, I don't get any oil. It is set for the day when I use this. Okay, so my top two things, this is like number two, and I'll show you the number one later. I got this Physicians Formula eyeliner a few months back, and this is in the shade Deep Brown, and it says it's a eye booster 2-in-1 lash boosting eyeliner plus serum. I don't notice anything different with my lashes since using it, and that's not why I got it. Tracy and Stephanie, 11th Gorgeous, recommended this. I think Tracy actually recommended it as her favorite, and I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a try. This is like absolutely an amazing, amazing liner. It is like a brush, so it's not felt tip or anything, and it is like super, super thin lines. I was playing around with it earlier, that's why it's already on my hand, but like you can do thin lines or you can do them thicker. It dries and sets like almost instantly, so you do have to be careful with this formula. You can see like nothing's smudging, nothing's going anywhere, and I just put that on. So this is a last all day formula. It is amazing. I absolutely love it. It does take a little bit to get used to because it's such a thin tip, but I love it because I can do winged eyeliner so much better now. I think having the really precise thin tip just makes the application and everything better, smoother. This does not budge. It's amazing. Comes in black as well. I love it. Now for mascaras, this is, I didn't have like an overall favorite of the year. I will say that my normal favorite, which is the Annabelle Le Big Show, it's not in stores anymore. I haven't looked into it whether they're just discontinuing mascaras, but like it's not a part of their lineup of makeup. So that's unfortunate. So I've been trying tons of other different kinds of mascara this year, and the only one that's like stood out, but it's not necessarily like my favorite, but it's stood out to me, is the L'Oreal Telescopic. A few months ago I decided to give some lengthening mascaras a try because I am a volume girl, and I've never cared for, you know, length. So because I feel like with the volume mascaras I can still get pretty good length as well. But this is actually a really, really good mascara. I like it. I actually get a ton of length with this, which is obviously good considering it's a lengthening mascara, but I get a ton of length with this. My lashes don't look spidery or thin. You can definitely you know, separate them, so I do get a, not a voluminous, but I do get a full lash look with this. So this has actually been one mascara out of the tons that I've tried this year that has really impressed me. So on to bronzers. These are tried and true. I love these. I've been using them for a few years, so that's nothing that is new, but literally nothing beats these out. I've got other new bronzers from this year, but no, these are where it's at. It's from the very low end to the very high end, and they're both absolutely amazing. So this one is the Essence Sun Club, and this is for the shade Blonde. It's a 01 Natural, and you can see I've well hit pan on this, which doesn't happen very often with any of my makeup. So you can tell that I love it. It smells like coconut, which is like amazing, and it is just like the perfect color for me. It's a good, for my skin tone anyways, for someone who's very fair, it's great for contour, but it's even better for bronzing the skin. I can't do anything that's too cool toned or too ashy. It just looks really odd on my skin and I don't like it. And then the other one is the Soleil Tan de Chanel bronzer, which is a cream bronzer, which is funny because I'm not a huge fan of cream products, but I've had this for a couple years, and I mean, it barely looks like I've even used it. So this product a little goes a long way. It's never dried out, but I do make sure that I kept the little cap inside. It's always sealed up tightly. This was like $3.99, $3.50 to like $60. Either way you go, for if you have skin in my color range, absolutely either one of these are going to be amazing on you. Just really great products. I love them, and I really like, every now and then I feel bad for my other bronzers and I'm like, okay, I'll use one of you today, but I'm just never as happy with them as I am with these. So these are great products. This is low to high end for highlighters. And this one is a limited edition Wet n Wild Color Icon Blush and Glow Trio in the shade Fair Trade Coffee. What I've been using is this highlighter. I love this highlighter. If I'm not using my Hourglass, this is the highlighter that I'm using. It's gorgeous. I love it. It just, it doesn't look like anything on my hand. I don't know. I don't even know if you can see it, but it's just beautiful. I feel like the color goes with my skin tone, any blush that I apply. It's just gorgeous. And then I got the Hourglass Ambient Lighting little trio thing. You guys will have seen a gazillion of these, I'm sure. This is incandescent light. This is the one that I use all the time as well. I don't know how else it's gonna... My swatches aren't that amazing, but anyways, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful highlight. It just gives a nice healthy glow to the skin. It's not shimmery or glittery or chunky or anything like that. It just really just illuminates the face. So this is a MAC shadow in Blank Type. This is what I used on my brow bone probably of 365 days of the year, probably being like 300 and I don't even know, like 340 days or something. It's very, very rare that I use any other shade on my brow bone. This is just kind of like the be-all end-all color for me. It's really bright, it highlights really well, but it's not like too bright with being like a white or something that it just looks fake. It's just gorgeous. I absolutely love this. Sometimes I'll put this like all over my like entire lid up to my brow bone just for a really like bright, awake kind of look. I love this eyeshadow. It's phenomenal. My one little palette, this is the NYX Love in Paris palette. It's got 9 shades in it. This is I don't know, something Madeleines and macarons, I don't know. Anyways, whatever. I love this. You can see I've used this a lot as well. The only two shimmery shades are those two there out of the whole palette. And this is amazing. I use this a lot for running something through my crease, or I've actually been really enjoying doing a lot of matte looks as well. And this just has the perfect blending colors. I love this palette. It's not overly expensive. It's a great little palette to have for everyday kind of looks and just do some neutrals. This is a perfect little palette. My third palette is one I've had only a couple months and I am obsessed with this. I love this palette. This is the Stila in the Know eyeshadow palette. You can see in a little bit of time I've used quite a bit already. The only thing that I don't like is these are kind of a little bit chalky. When you dip your brush in there, you definitely have to tap it off first because you will get some fallout. But otherwise, these are like the most pigmented, beautiful shades. I love them. They are all completely matte, and again, like you could do any look with them. I did a look that I posted on Instagram several weeks ago with this color. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I would never have thought of putting this kind of like burnt orange color on my eyes, but it's amazing. It comes also with a little, what's this, one of their smudge stick waterproof eyeliner in Half Moon, which I've used this a couple times. It's not bad. I typically, like, it's super creamy and pigmented. It is beautiful. I love this. This is like my the CoverGirl Outlast All Day Lip Color, and it comes with like a stain, and then it comes with I'll show you. Comes with a like moisturizing stick, or it kind of makes like makes the lips glossy, so you can wear it on its own as I'm doing right now. This will last hours and not budge off, like hours and hours. You can eat with it. You may have to touch up a little bit after you eat, but I mean, this will be on for hours. If you feel like your lips are getting a little bit dry, throw a little bit of this balm on. It just like plumps everything up again, makes it like shiny, and like these are incredible. I have this beautiful, like I said, I think it's called Forever Fawn. I'll swatch this one here, which is a beautiful nude color, and then the other one I have is in the shade Plum, so it's a really pretty purple, but not like, you'll see, it's not like too purple. Just gorgeous colors, and honestly they set like a dream. Be careful where you put them because they do set pretty quickly. This is my number one, this fluff, my number one favorite of the entire year. So this is my Nubar Cuticle Care Oil, and this is my third bottle, I think, and I have another one ready to go of this. The oil is absolutely amazing. I discovered it earlier this year, or last year, sorry, and I put it on every night. I've been slacking a little bit lately, to be honest. This should be gone by now, but I do put it on pretty much every single night onto my cuticles, and whatever's left over, I just rub it onto my hands. This is amazing. It's definitely helped my I get rashes and stuff on my hands, and I think it's like a heat rash in the summer. This is totally fixed that. I did not have that problem this year. This has been like a wonder product. I don't want to be without this ever. Last are a couple face tools. This, sorry, is dirty. It's a little bit stained as well, but this is a Joe Fresh, I'll say like blending sponge. I was say beauty blender, but it was the wrong word. Blending sponge. I've used several different blending sponges in the past, all never beauty blender, so I don't really know what that's exactly like, but I feel like this is so different from any other sponge I've ever used. It's amazing. This like triples in size when it's like, it's wet. I feel like this is probably like what the beauty blender is like, because the actual like texture of the sponge and the way that it works is like 1,000 times better than any of the other ones that I've used. Then I discovered these e.l.f. brushes, and they were $4 each, so very inexpensive, and they work amazingly well. This is the e.l.f. Small Stipple Brush. I use this for my foundation, and then I have two of these e.l.f. blush brushes. This is my blush one, and then I also have the same one that I use for highlighter as well. So inexpensive, so soft, they don't shed, they just work really, really well. This works so well at applying my foundation and blending it. I get a really like flawless, even look with it. This picks up just the right amount of color for blush or for highlighter, pats it on really well or blends really well on the skin. These are just really amazing brushes for such an inexpensive price.